Welcome to the GenX Pole Arts podcast, Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich, the founder of GenX Pole Arts. I am happy to be launching this podcast where we are going to be celebrating the strength, resilience, and potential of women over 40 in the vibrant world of pole dance. I'm excited to embark on this empowering journey with you guys. And each week, we will connect with inspiring women who are redefining what it means to thrive in their 40s and beyond. From incredible stories of personal transformation to tips on building strength and confidence, we'll explore the boundless possibilities that pole dancing offers for self-expression and empowerment. Whether you're a seasoned dancer or just curious about the journey, there's a place for you here. So grab a cup of coffee, a sparkling water, whatever turns you on, and get comfortable. Let's celebrate the incredible power of women who are embracing their passions and pushing boundaries at every age. And don't forget to subscribe and join our community on social media and sign up for the 15-day pole dance challenge if you haven't done so already. All right, now let's dive into today's episode. Hi, welcome to episode 11 of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, your host, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today. It's another solo episode, you guys, and I've been thinking about what I want to talk about. And in the last episode with Chimeka, we talked about movement and dance and being an athlete, and we spoke about her mom. And I just also, at the same time as that episode came out, I opened up registration for a new workshop for the GenX Pole Arts community, a freestyle free dance workshop that will be virtual. Probably would have already taken place by the time this episode is dropped. But it all got me thinking about why people might not be interested in doing a workshop or going to a pole class or a dance class. I'm also a dance student at a local college here in Southern California. I am a dance major and I'm getting a degree in dance. And many of the people in my cohort are older, in their 40s, maybe even 50s and beyond. And I find that very interesting. So to me, it feels very natural to just step into a class and take a class, as long as it's a beginner's class. If it's something new, a new style, a new apparatus, if it's like a circus art or an aerial art, I just start at the beginner level and see if that's right for me. It doesn't occur to me to not go to the class because I haven't done it before. Because as somebody who enjoys learning, I just figure that when you go to any type of a class for the first time, even if it's like a foreign language class, you're not supposed to know anything when you go to the class. That's why you're in class, is to learn, right? So it's the same for me when I go to a new type of dance class. So when I went to the university and had my first day of contemporary dance in a proper studio where we needed to dress in a black leotard, black tights, we have to have our hair up in a bun. It's very formal. I had never taken a dance class like that before. It is almost like a conservatory style. And I did it, but I also knew I was a beginner. So the expectation of the professor or the instructor was not that I was walking into that studio environment with years of experience in a dance company. So that makes me feel like it's okay if I don't get it right in the beginning. But it occurred to me as I'm putting together the next workshop that not everybody thinks the way I do, obviously, right? Like that's like, duh, no kidding. But something that my professor said or says is very interesting in this light. What she has said to us is that everybody is a dancer. If you move, you are a dancer. Dance is movement. If you are performing in dance, then it is an exaggerated movement and you're telling a story and there is intention behind it and there is some technique behind it. However, if you move, which we all do, you are a dancer. You're able to go to a dance class, even if you move, but you have some type of mobility challenge. Your knees are not the greatest. Your back is not super flexible. Your shoulders don't have full range of motion. These are all things that I deal with on a regular basis, right? But that doesn't mean I'm not a dancer or that I'm not capable of advancing my skill as a dancer or my artistry. And I just want to make sure that's really clear to all of my GenX Pole Arts people who are listening. You don't need to be of a certain skill set, a certain level of movement to feel comfortable walking into a beginner dance class. You are qualified just by being a human being who has some form of mobility, who has a body. You have a body and you can move it, then you're qualified to go to a dance class. That's all you need to be able to do. Everything else is just icing on the cake. So if you're interested in a dance class or a pole class or anything that has to do with performing, moving your body, interpreting a piece of music in some way, the idea that you're not a dancer should not be what's holding you back from signing up for that class. Nobody is expecting you to walk into a workshop or a class being a prima ballerina or having danced for 20 years. If you were, then you wouldn't be interested in going to a workshop or a beginner class. No, quite the opposite. What we expect in the beginner classes are people who haven't danced before formally, people who don't consider themselves to be a dancer. And this is where the greatest breakthroughs happen. This is where I see students coming into class with one mindset and one definition of who they are, and then leaving 90 minutes later, having completely surprised themselves. And all of a sudden, the idea of who they are is challenged, and they have to see themselves a little bit differently. And that's what is so appealing and so beautiful about it. And this is why I feel so passionate about encouraging people, no matter what your age is, to just try it. We have these wonderful, beautiful bodies, which are the vessels in which we live. They are the tools through which we experience the world. If we simply just sit still in them, they become fragile. They become sad. These bodies, these meat bags that we exist within are meant to move. They're not meant to sit at a desk or on a couch. They're meant to be free and they're meant to express all of those feelings that we have that we stuff down deep inside. The way we can process them and express them is from movement, moving our muscles, our tendons, allowing our nervous system to relax and release through movement, breathing deeply into the body and nourishing all of the cells of our body with breath while we move. It is so incredibly therapeutic, and it is a birthright for every human to move. You are a dancer. You are. So please don't limit yourself because you've spent the last so many years just driving people around from place to place and sitting on a couch and behind a desk doing work, making money for people. Great, you did that. That's part of who you are, for sure. But don't neglect the rest of who you are. Don't forget that you have this living, breathing body that is just aching because it wants to move. It wants to move. I'm not talking about doing splits and back bends and high kicks or flips. I'm talking about simple movement, moving your different body parts in circles. What does that feel like? Moving towards the floor, moving on your tiptoes, moving somewhere in between and moving back and forth between all of those levels. It's like being a kid on the playground. They don't think about it. They just run around, they jump, they go from the swings to the slide to the spinny thingy, right? And they just don't care what they look like when they do it. They're just doing it. They're running, they're having a race with one another, they're skipping, they're hopping, they're rolling on the ground. When's the last time you did any of that? If you go to a dance class, it gives you the freedom, the permission to do that. Roll on the ground. Go ahead. Take your time getting up. If your knees hurt, it's okay. Maybe there's a pole in the room that you can use to help yourself get up. Surprise, we do that sometimes, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to come on here and give a little bit of hope, be a little bit of a cheerleader to anybody who has been following along with all of the things I've been doing and saying and putting out there and thinking to themselves, yeah, that's great, but it's not for me. I'm not a dancer. You are a dancer. And if you want to explore that part of who you are, I'm giving you the opportunity to do so. There's plenty of opportunities at your local YMCA, your gym, your dance center. The senior center has dance classes. Do Zumba. I mean, hey, in the 80s, we all did Jane Fonda. I did the Cindy Crawford workout video. I loved doing that. It had like the seal. How we ever gonna survive unless we get a little crazy? Is that even the right lyric? But anyway, that every time I hear that song, I still imagine Cindy Crawford in her white leotard, like standing there, guiding us and like breathing in and out, right? We did buns of steel, abs of steel. Who did Gil on the beach in the mornings? I don't remember if that was on PBS or ESPN, but we used to do Gil before school. He would be standing on like a black circle on the beach in Hawaii, and he'd have two people behind him standing on black circles on the beach, and they'd be doing calisthenics or aerobics or whatever. Maybe you did Tai Bo. Did you ever do that? I never was a Tai Bo person, but it's all movement to music. It's all dance. Did you? Okay. I just saw the movie The Last Showgirl with Jamie Lee Curtis and Pamela Anderson. And I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I'm not going to get into it here. But seeing Jamie Lee Curtis play this Las Vegas cocktail waitress, former showgirl who's had way too much time in the sun. And I think her makeup was way overdone, but she looked like literally like a raisin, wrinkled, and her skin was really a weird color of tan. And she, at one point in the movie, well, I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, she dances. And it's kind of uncomfortable to watch just because of the circumstances of the movie and the scene itself. But also, the character, just seems like she's in a blissful state, just letting her body move. And it reminds me of the Jamie Lee Curtis back in the movie where she was the aerobics instructor with what's his name? John Travolta. Oh my gosh. Sometimes my age shows when my memory goes. Right? But that was us. That was the 80s and 90s. We did all that stuff. So why should we not be continuing to do those things now? And why do we forget that we did those things when we were younger? Even if you didn't take a dance class, you can't tell me you never did a Jane Fonda workout video or Cindy Crawford workout video or a Gil workout on TV or Zumba or Tai Bo. Like, you did something. You had to have done something. So why not try again? Keep moving your body. It's the same body. It still wants to move. It wants you to love it. So here's your chance. Sign up for a class. Most dance studios and pole studios in the US, you can sign up on the Mind Body app. And even if you don't know what studio is near you, if you go to Mind Body, and you can go to the website if you don't want to download an app, go to Mind Body and just look for classes in your area. You can look by class type, you can look by studio type or gym type, and just see what's available. And they all have beginner packages. Typically, you get like 2 classes for $40 or $49 or something like that, or $30. Almost everywhere, I've always seen that, a beginner introductory special. I would say give it a go. And if you are too shy to go do it in public, then sign up for an online class, one of mine or somebody else's. I don't care. I just am happy to know if you actually try it, if you actually get yourself moving, get off the couch, get out from behind the desk, breathe, feel your body, connect with your body, get out of your head, put everything else aside, be present with yourself, because you are a dancer. You have a body, it wants to move. Don't ever tell yourself you can't step into a dance studio or a dance class because you aren't a dancer, because you are. You're a dancer. I'm telling you. If you don't believe me, fight me in the comments, because I love to have comments. And that's it. These episodes are really short because I talk to myself, and I don't want to sound preachy, even though this one sounds a little bit preachy, but I feel like somebody needs to tell you this. Because if you're not dancing, you should be. If you're not loving your body and enjoying the things it can still do at whatever age you are, you should be. So until next time, when I will have another guest and you will be spared from my solo rant for another week, I thank you for being here. I thank you for your support, and I wish you well. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, powered by GenX Pole Arts. I hope you feel inspired by the incredible stories of strength and resilience that we shared today. Remember, it's never too late to embrace your potential and unleash your passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please, I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave me a review. Your support really helps me to continue to uplift and empower women over 40 in our pole dance community and beyond. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your stories and share in your journey. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and remember that your strength knows no age.